Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first of our semi-finals here at the national debates at the debate circle. I'll be your host, Waya Jeffrey, and the motion under the limelight states the Kenyan government should replace the standardized education curricula with personalized learning approaches. All the best to the two teams on stage. First speaker, team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury and judges, a wise man of understanding such as myself, Julius Caesar, once said that experience is the best teacher, but a good example can do more trick than a 10-hour lecture. Now, the good example in our hands is France, Canada, and USA, the United States of America. While they practice specialization, we practice generalization. The name is Jehu Adil, prestigious Meru School is where I'm from, and I'm here to propose the motion that the Kenyan government should replace standard education curriculum with personalized learning approaches in school. To get a better glimpse of what I'm proposing today, I'll just take you through what personalized learning means. According to an article published on 17th June 2023, it states that it is the customization and adaptation of educational methods and techniques so that the learning process is better suited for each individual learner with their own unique learning style, background needs, and previous experiences. Meaning that it covers both your culture, your needs, and what you desire. Now, in personalized learning, the learner's personalized experiences, knowledge, and habits are connected with the following methods so that they learn faster. Meaning, so that they learn faster, get new concepts easier, and improve performance. If they improve their performance, it will go hand in hand with Sustainable Development Goal number 8, proposing decent work and economic growth. How so? If their output is better, and if their performance is raised, they'll certainly add value into our economy. How it works? The instructor uses the knowledge of the student they have. The time spent and material covered may vary due to difference in intelligence, quotient, IQ. So, the basic intelligence quotients, the values that they are a 16-year-old to 17-year-old has an 108, that's an average. 110 to 119, that's superior. And 89 to 80, lower average. Meaning that personalized learning will cover both. Will look at how your IQ varies and will tend to create means to better implement the knowledge. According to the Kelvin illustration, he has an engineering degree, previous experience as a senior engineering at a construction company, prefers videos over reading, and enjoys using technology. Based on the parameters, the path will consider education, comfortable with high levels, meaning that if he wants this kind of education, he'll get it, as long as he's comfortable with it and as long as it helps him. Experience, that goes to senior engineering. How he is and who he is goes in relation to what he does. Preferred content type. If he prefers engineering, why go learn history? If he prefers biology, what's the need for physics? In the system used in Kenya, the lecture-based instructional approach, in which we all know uses complex textbooks and a lecturer. This one is usually very complicated in as we don't understand. First of all, we like proper guidance to use the books. Second of all, we learn content that we usually don't need to. So, what do I propose today? I propose that personalized learning is the key to a greater future. Thank you for your time.
Just as Martin Luther King once said, that the function of education is to teach one to think intensively and critically. Intelligence plus character is the goal of true education. My name is Rachel Mawel from the Great Makueni Girls, here to strongly oppose the motion that states the Kenyan government should replace standardized education curricula with personalized learning approaches in schools. On to the definitions of essential terms of the motion. I would like to begin with standardized education. According to Educational Curriculum of United States, standardized education curriculum refers to the approaches to schooling or learning plans that emphasize on common programs. According to Bill and Melinda Gates, personalized learning approaches are the educational approaches that aims to customize learning for each student's strength and their interests. On to my first point. A standardized education provides a structured environment for the students. And how does it do this? You see, a standardized curriculum promotes a sense of structure for schools to maintain. The government decides on what must be learned, by who, and when it is to be done. I believe that the same concepts that I'm doing in my school are the same concepts that you're doing in your schools. This promotes SDG number 10 that deals with reduced inequalities, and SDG number 4 that deals with quality education. Well, you see, in Kenya, we have the 844 curriculum system, where one has to study for 8 years in the primary, 4 years in the high school, and 4 years in the university. This is being replaced by the 2663 curriculum, which is the CBC, where one has to study for 2 years in the pre-primary, 6 years in the primary level, 6 years in the junior and secondary level, and also 3 years in the university. I believe in your schools, you all have timetables and also schedules that you follow. You just don't do things the way you want. You do them in an organized manner. Now, this is the sweetness and the beauty of structured education. On to my second point. There's standardized testing in standardized education. After your 8 years of primary and after your 4 years of high school learning, we all do KCPE and KCSE. We also do internal exams in our schools. Now this, by looking into the results of these standardized tests, learners can quickly tell which areas of education they have not understood. In standardized learning, there are clear learning objectives which help provide clarity about the purpose of the training program. Learners can get help from their fellow students and also from different teachers who are in the schools. The aim of education is the knowledge, not of facts, but of values. And also, the purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. And with this, I tap out. Thank you.
Second speaker, team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
Where over 70% of our students are unable to get into university, the government is obliged to change its system. I am Makueni from Meru School, and I am here proposing the motion that the Kenyan government should replace the standard education curriculum with personalized learning in schools. Now, to start us off, according to Nexus Hub, the average Form 1 learns about 12 subjects. This means that if he has an average 15-hour day, like in our school we do, he'll have to balance these 12 subjects and study one per, if lucky, every 1 hour, 15 minutes to internalize all of this content. Now, according to Lalit Patel, who has a PhD in physics, he conducted some research and posted the results for us on Quora. The results showed that over 95% of what we learn become irrelevant to us when we become grown-ups. Meaning that only 5% of what I study in class every day today will impact me 20 years from now. So my calculation tells me 1 hour, 15 minutes every day, but a PhD tells us 45 minutes every day. Now, let's say for the fun of it, I took 4 subjects. I took music, if I want to be a musician. I took English to supplement that, theater to supplement that, and maths because it's compulsory. I would study each for approximately 9 times the time I would study if I was studying 12 subjects. This equates to about 300 minutes every day. Now, furthermore, is the motivation factor. Sokia Health and Meteor Education did a study, and they concurred with the same results. For one, it says that cortisol, which is referred to as a quote-unquote stress hormone, is in our body and is normally at an average content-wise in our brain. When we are happy, excited, or our energy is channeled, the cortisol in our brain decreases, and instead serotonin is produced. Now, serotonin gives you a sense of well-being, creates a more focused and a more sensible and more conducive environment for learning. Again, at the same time, the prefrontal cortex, when you're happy, stimulated, energized, or excited about something, it controls your emotion in such a way that it allows you to reflect and think more clearly about what you're doing. In short, you will enjoy and get more out of it. Not only will you want to get more out of it, you'll actually be able to get more out of this. Now, this will be helpful in the sense that, as of a study conducted by the National Library of Health, published on May 12, 2012, they did a survey which carried across 25 major states. And from these major states, they sampled 469 students and asked them why they had dropped out of school. And 69% of these students said it was due to lack of motivation to study. If we were to give these students incentive and morals and a will to study, don't you think we'd have many more, and not just doctors and nurses, musicians, engineers, even more of those non-white collar jobs in motion? Don't you think so? And as I finish, according to Berkeley.edu, 30% of their students do not agree with their school culture. 30% agree with their school culture. That means over 70% of students worldwide are uncomfortable with what their school does as of now. So the choice is yours. Side with the students, side with the system that is failing, or side with us. Thank you.
Second speaker team, opposition, you have 3 minutes.
As Martin Fisher puts it, standardization is the fertilizer of college education. A little may be useful, but flowers do not grow out of pure manure. Our opponents are trying to pamper us with beautiful words, trying to tell us how personalized education should be implemented. But according to Google, it states that personalized education is very expensive, approximately $205. Now tell me, my folks, education system, the standardized one, to be specific, is cheap and free in Kenya. Now, will we pay $205 instead of using the money to develop our economy and also do other stuff like paying rent and also creating awareness on doing proper things in Kenya? Will we really go to paying for an education system that is very expensive when we have another option in Kenya? That's your opinion to speak and think about. To oppose the motion is Serena Keteko from Makueni Girls High School, here to give you satisfying points for you to join my team and I in opposing this motion. I will begin with equality and access. According to the Constitution of Kenya, Chapter 4, which is the Bill of Rights, Section 10 to be specific, every child has a right to basic education. That's the beauty of the standardized education curriculum, don't you think? Also, through the Basic Education Act, it ensures quality education, which, if I am not wrong, is SDG number 4, quality education, which we will be promoting. It promotes equal education to both people with and without disabilities, promoting SDG number 10, which is reduced inequalities. Take an example. A student from Muranga School for the hearing impaired learns the same content and concept as I do. Now, isn't this equality at its peak? It surely is. And to my second point, mobility and transferability. You might be wondering, what am I meaning by this? It simply is any change in a student's institution enrollment. I transferred from a certain school to join Makueni Girls High School, but as they say, experience is the best teacher. From experience, it was easy for me to acclimatize with Makueni Girls. Why, you may ask? Because the concept taught is the same. Adopting the standardized education leads to promotion of SDG number 4, quality education, SDG number 10, reducing inequalities. And as I repeated, adopting personalized education might be a problem to us because, as we know, Kenya's economy is going down. So will we really pay money when Kenya's economy is going down? Think about it. Join us. Thank you.
Third speaker team proposition, you have 3 minutes.
What would you do if you had one chance to get every single thing you ever wanted? Would you let it go, or would you run and chase it? Now, Levin Mark here is one saddened man because I am looking at our opposers and whatever they're saying doesn't seem relevant to me. Why is this? This is per edu.com. As per edu.com, an article written on the 5th of September 2022, They said that it reduces, or rather the standardized level of education reduces inequalities. Well, I am afraid not. As my preceder said, we have different IQ levels. And how do you expect someone with an IQ of 156 to grasp the same content in the same time and at the same moment with someone with an IQ of 96? Surely you must be confused to some extent. Again, she talked about how our current system is organized and the personalized learning is not organized. Remember, the personalized learning is more or less like the CBC, which is the 2662 system of learning. They have timetables, they have assignments, they have delegated times for delegated things. Why would she say that it doesn't have a standardized routine? Again, she said that it's expensive. Well, I am sorry. According to valamis.com, an article written on 2nd of October 2022, the only thing this system of education, which is the personalized learning, requires is 1, communication facilities. We have phones. 2, artificial intelligence technology. We have Google, we have Ask AI, and we have ChatGPT. Again, we have learning platforms. For the French lovers, you all know Alliance Française, and for the other language lovers, you have Duolingo. Again, the only other thing we need is mobile technology, which is phones, laptops. Why would she say it's expensive, yet all resources are available? Again, I'll give you advantages of this method of learning that I'm proposing. 1, it improves retention. According to the Psychology Facts website, an article on the 1st of May 2022, we have the concept of the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. This is a memory model created by German scientist Hermann Ebbinghaus, and it shows how our information is lost over a period of time if we do not try to retain it. Okay, it says that 50% of all new information is lost within a day, and an astounding 90% of all new information is lost within a week. And the solutions they are giving to retention is 1, improve clarity. This is by removing irrelevant content. Again, keep things relevant, the same. Again, increase interactivity, the apps and platforms. And lastly, make training accessible. In a school where we have 2,000 students and teachers only 100, that attributes 200 or rather 20 students to every single teacher. But if the government used a method of specialized learning to these teachers in their training institutes, whereby you find that certain teachers specialize in certain areas, it would be easier to access a teacher teaching you French other than a teacher teaching the whole school French, and eventually success. Again, it breaks stereotypes, and a stereotype is a fixed thought about a certain group of people that is often not true. One stereotype is that light-skinned men are not strong. That's a lie. Again, we have another stereotype that states that disabled people cannot do things well. I'll give you an example of Oscar Pistorius, who is the world's fastest blade runner. If this teacher does not concentrate, or rather specialize on this talent that he liked, would he be where he is today? Ask yourself that.
Third speaker, team opposition, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you for telling us about a stereotype, because here's another stereotype. There is no such thing as a bright person we can all achieve. Yes, to your second proposer, I would like to tell you, thank you for telling us that their children in Form 1 will learn 12 subjects, because they will know that they have a wide variety of careers to choose from, unlike those who are taking personalized education, because when they fail the subjects they specialize in, they are done like a squashed tomato. Do you know that in the future, students under the standardized system of education have a wide range of professions, from law to engineering and all to piloting? But what about the students under personalized system of education? If they specialize in carpentry, they'll die with their furnitures. Implementation challenges. These implementation challenges affect the SDG number 4, quality education. How, you ask? Well, let me tell you. The standardized education is easier to implement compared to personalized education. Implementing personalized learning approaches require significant technology and training for teachers. The Kenyan government, for instance, faces challenges in providing adequate resources to all schools. As we speak right now, the Kenyan government debts stand at 9.145 trillion. Can you imagine? This is data from the Central Bank of Kenya. How do you expect the government to shift education from standardized to personalized, having in mind that it is very expensive to implement? For example, let's take reality. In Kenya right now, parents in rural areas have confessed to be having challenges from the CBC assignments because they are given to their children. Because this is affecting their SDG number 1, no poverty. They also decried many hidden costs in implementing in the new curriculum, making an already tough financial situation or even larger. These parents are complaining for it to be a burden. Please, let's cope with them to reduce their burden. On to my second point. Standardized learning approach incorporates the cultural heritage of a country. So our dear opponents here are trying to degrade us that we should shed our own cultural heritage as Kenya. Acknowledging the rich Maasai cultural heritage that we all learn in Form 1 history, submitting learning approach of their wish and opinion, we find that it is standardized education that is designed with a broad scope, including cultural heritage topics that are considered important for country's identity. I am sure that all of us here have undergone standardized education. Even here, our Judge Lois Njemu are witnesses that this education is good because it offers a wide variety of careers. Isn't that right, judges? I believe so.
Team Proposition, you have 1 minute for your final submission.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, even the most priceless of gold has to go through the fire before it becomes as valuable as it is. So there's no way we're supposed to let go of the CBC. Oh wait, Kenya has already opted for the CBC. So why are we fighting our government? You are not patriots, you're fighting your government. And apart from Kenya, we have Rwanda, South Africa, Mozambique, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Tanzania. This is according to the EDU website on 16th July 2022. So why would we not be patriots and fight this thing that the government has already implemented? Again, remember that almost, let's say 99.9% of teachers have phones in school. Now, what would limit us to access these websites that I have given as requirements? So please, for you to know how to beat a giant, you have to know its weakness. And for us to know how to beat the giant of illiteracy in our country, we have to know that the weakness is in the attitude. I rest my case. Thank you.
Team Opposition, you have 1 minute for your final submission.
Education is not the filling of a pot, but the lighting of a fire. We are not talking about patriotism, but facts and not theoretical fallacies. Please go back and research well. As Pluto puts it, the direction in which education starts, a man will determine his future in life. Starting with basic education, standardized education lays a basic foundation for many. Remember, if you want your house to be strong, then lay a strong foundation. Making career paths requires a lot of maturity of the learners, which the personalized approaches may lack. Also, teachers' involvement may help the learner in a career choice. My dear audiences, live today as if you were to die tomorrow, and learn as if you were to live forever. Because if we will live with personalized education, I believe all of you here, take for instance, if you would have done many subjects and then you fail in one, at least you have in mind, I have another career because of this subject. And with that, please have a marvelous time.
Meru School is proposing, so actually you are for personalized learning approaches. So the expectation was that you would give us what personalized approaches do. I think ADL started with that very well. You know, focusing on what you're interested in and so on and so forth. Then you go ahead and tell us, how do you implement that? And what are the challenges in Kenya that, you know, how can they be overcome to implement that? You talked of teacher-student ratio. That was a good point. So we have a capacity issue. How do we address it today in Kenya? I think that did not really come out very well. I also thought the issue of inclusivity would come out strongly, where you're saying in personalized learning, you're taking care of everybody's needs and interests. I think it was mentioned somewhere. Yeah, I think I had it. So that brings out that point. And the examples, I think, were not very sufficiently executed. I would have expected examples of where personalized learning has been applied. For example, footballers that sought to pursue that as a career, musicians, or those artists, or whatever other manner you would want to take that angle, and actually show us how that in itself has actually generated economic growth for themselves, you know, income for them, and created also blue-collar jobs, because not everybody is to be employed, all right?
For purposes of those proceeding to the next level, because one of you is definitely going to go to the next level, I'd like you to avoid making general statements without facts, statistics, and figures. That is the real deal. And be careful on cooking, because we cross-check when our ears smell something fishy. So research is a key ingredient of a good debater. Please work on that. Then just to guide Serena, you said something according to Google. Can you be specific? Google is a search machine. There are very many platforms, websites there. So you need to be very keen on that. And then the second debaters, you need to be very keen on rebuttaling. The second and third debaters, for that matter, therefore, you need to be very keen on rebuttaling. And that is where the juiciness of any motion comes into play. Manuel, you need to vary your tone too. You guys have a future in the debating world. I'm impressed. All the best.
And the scores are out. The judges have awarded Meru School with 67.3%, a round of applause. The judges have awarded Makueni Girls with 68%. A round of applause. Therefore, this makes Makueni Girls High School the winners of this debate. Remember, to get more of this content, follow us on all our social media platforms at The Debate Circle, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, and on Threads. For now, it's goodbye from us.